everybody. Let's see this. I have to do this always. This is not the toughest part, but hello, everybody. Tom Caldabiano here, going live. Everybody loves Raymond 360. Looking forward to catching up today. Have a little bit of tea ready. Scrumptious. Do I turn on that light? I don't know. Welcome, everybody. Let's go here. That is live there. And then I do this. There we go. Make sure that all of the fleas are safe before I start. Hello, everybody. I get a lot of comments about my hair. I don't know why. Hello, Gil, in the United Kingdom. How am I sounding, Gil? Oh, you know what? I can turn this mic down for the recording. Okay. Tom Caltabiano, ELR 360 Live, talking today about all things Everybody Loves Raymond. I think that makes sense. Not a big surprise there. A little bit about past Emmy wins, Brad and Raymond there. Hi, Karen Jack. Hello, Long Island. Long Island, we do have an announcement, an official announcement, a 40% official announcement that I think is going to happen. Let me see. Let's bring up some of these comments here. Do I turn down? Yeah, let me turn down this other mic because I think that will record, but you won't. Here, watch this. This is for Tom. It's for Tom only. Yes. There we go. All three microphones. All right. Turning down that overhead one. It will be recording. Hi, Gil. Thank you. Hello, Kim. Hello, Great Falls, Montana. Hi, Marla. How are you? Hi, Mona. Yes, in and out. Very good. Hi, Karen. You're watching on YouTube Live. You know, we have to pay more attention to our YouTube space. Thank you, Karen, in Plymouth, England, for doing that. Let's see, what is the T? Here's the T. Okay, this is. Let's see how fast we can focus. Yes, look at that, everybody. That is tea. So that is Harney and Sons English breakfast. A blended black tea, which I find delicious, in my own little canister, which is made of almost the same type of material as the canister. The canister is a very, very heavy-duty piece of metal. Okay, saying hello to everybody. Anna Marie Defonso de Milo. I don't want to add an extra A in there. Hello, yes, Earl Grey for you. Hello, Deb, Tucker, Frank. I put a little accent on the Tucker. I gave a little bit. Hi, Anne-Marie. Hi, look at this. Let's see the power I have. Look at that. Bringing up these comments. All right. So, first of all, I wanted to clear up a few things. I posted a picture of the Tissues episode. Brilliant episode written by Mr. Mike Royce. And a lot of people... I shouldn't say a lot of people, some people, and when people comment, I try and answer the questions, assuming if one person has that question, so then everybody does, then a lot of people do. So not a question like, what is the name of the star of Everybody Loves Raymond? You know, that's the kind of question we go, I think you can look that up on Google and find out what the name is of the star of Everybody Loves Raymond. But there was a appropriate, so there's questions where you go, how did they pull that off? So the Tissues episode, which is an episode where there was this escalation of one decision has this giant escalating effect, and Raymond, who just wants a little bit of responsibility, his wife hands it over reluctantly, and he sets the house on fire. That's the short pitch. If you went into the writer's room and pitched that, because sometimes you get too lost in details, but if you went into the writer's room, which, for example, Mike Royce, and I can't remember if Phil was the one who said, let's set the house on fire, because I don't know that Mike, who's exceptionally funny and a good writer, the thought of setting the set on fire is a bit big. So coming not from the showrunner is kind of a big request. So we never thought really, I guess the wallpaper where the car comes crashing through the wall, written by Lou Schneider, that one was big, but setting the house on fire is a big request. So if you're going to pitch a story, here we go, folks, in show business. Ray demands and feels that Deborah belittles him, and he would like to take over some more responsibilities. So Deborah gives it to him, and then Ray makes a simple decision about the type of tissues, and then he sets the house on fire. So that's the pitch. If you went in with that pitch, that's a great story. For example, Marie takes an abstract art course and she gives Raymond the art, and the art is a gigantic thing that resembles woman's anatomy. So there you go. Those are good pitches of a left turn. All right. Let's see. Everybody, audio's back up, sounding good. Let me read my comments here. Should I never tap the mic? That really set everybody up for a bad audio problem. Okay. I'm going to assume everything is good. Hi, howdy. Hi, Annabelle. So let's talk about really. Okay, sorry. I'm you hear me editing. Hi, Tom. Hello, everyone. Hello, Paula, up in Canada. It's still pretty toasty here. Hold on, Alexa. What's the temperature in Hollywood, California?
Right now, in Hollywood, California, it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, expect a low of
Alexa,
65
stop.
degrees.
So it's 82 degrees Fahrenheit. We're still hanging on to the Fahrenheit here. It's toasty here, and it's very humid, which is not really the most common thing. So the Paley exhibit, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for visiting. It was a phenomenal success. It was there from June 13th through September 14th. So does that add up to 3 months? I think it does. And we were excited to have it that long in the prime time of tourist season. I met on Saturday, the day before the Emmys, I met some people that drove 2.5 hours from New Jersey up to the Paley exhibit. Now, for those of you that don't know, when you live in New Jersey, and I speak from experience, a lot of my friends who live in New Jersey, the idea of going to Manhattan is, even if it's only 20 miles away, is like a whole big gigantic adventure. So just getting into your car and be like, oh my gosh, I have to drive. I have to cross the Hudson River. I have to take the George Washington Bridge, the Holland Tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel, something. I have to pay tolls. I have to find parking. What if I get towed, etc. So this lovely couple that drove all the way 2.5 hours just to go to the Paley exhibit, and they were exuberant, and they happened to run into me walking around in the exhibit. It's a delight that all of the fans that got to see it were able to see it. Now, the good news is that the official, unofficial, but I'm 99.99% official, is that the exhibit will be moving from Paley to the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment in Stony Brook, New York. That is on Long Island, folks. Not in Long Island, but on Long Island. So that is a little bit of a drive from Manhattan. There's, I don't know, can somebody look up what is the population of Long Island? So Raymond in the series lived in, can anybody tell me where? Don't make me ask you these questions, which you know completely. In your sleep, you should know this. But Raymond and the Barones live on Long Island. The opening time for all of those, we'll find the answer to how many people live on Long Island. And for those of you that are not from, oh, you know what I have? But I'd have to leave the camera, and I won't do that. You know what? I might be able to do it with my phone. If you guys remember Why Are We Here, the final episode of season 1, written by me and Raymond, I used to have a map. It's called the Tri-State Area Map. So for those of you that don't know, for those of you in the UK, for example, when you're driving, there's 3 states that touch each other. There's New Jersey, Connecticut, and New York. And so when you get a map of, for example, Connecticut, a little bit touches New York, and then the rest goes out this way. And New Jersey, a little bit touches New York, and then the rest goes south. And then New York goes north and south and east. And when you go east to Manhattan, that is Long Island. It is, yes, you guessed it, a Long Island. Here, I'm going to look this up. Let me see. Bear with me, folks. I'm going to look at the Rand McNally tri-state 50-mile radius map. If you remember, why are we here? Ray draws those circles and says too close for sauce, is it too close for an overnight visit, too close for sauce? I think that's what it is. That map will show you how Long Island relates to New York and New Jersey. So I think, folks, the beginning of November. Sorry, not the beginning of November. The before Thanksgiving, around Thanksgiving, like around November 24th, somewhere in there, you'll get plenty of warning. Will be the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment, which currently has a Billy Joel exhibit, which will wrap up soon. They have big plans for the Evans Raymond exhibit, and they would like to have it installed for 1 year. So 1 year to get out to Long Island. Now, if you go to Stony Brook, you might as well swing by Merrick and see the actual exteriors of the buildings. So let's see if we have the, it might be a 75-mile radius map. That might it be. That's what it might be. Okay, hold on. 70, wait a minute, bear with me, 75-mile radius map. Okay, now that is cleared up. Also, I think, wow, it just doesn't want to help me. Oh, because I wrote the wrong word. I wrote raid instead of rand. And it might not even be that. It's probably a Hagstrom map now that I think about it. So I was just off by everything. Okay, let's see that. Now, the TV reunion special. The TV reunion special, okay, here, folks. Let's see, do they open it up for us? They don't. So that is the map in question. The 75-mile radius map from Columbus Circle, New York City, which is kind of the bottom left of Central Park, if you looked at it from space. And if you unfurl that, so they don't do it, why don't these people do it? Maybe their sales would increase if they would open that baby up. Yeah, that's not even clear enough. Here's a small sample of what's in there. Kind of boring, but I'll show it to you anyway because there's nothing worse than you guys can determine. East Windsor, Connecticut. I'm assuming Kings Park. Oh, look, Stony Brook. This is on the back of the map. That's where the museum is, Stony Brook, East Northport, Stony Brook. Okay, so the TV special, it looks like it is going to happen. And by the way, TV stuff is, obviously there's a lot of changes going on with TV right now. And because it's not a series, usually they have a premiere date of the fall schedule. This is old time. Doesn't relate as much now. But just so you know, the TV special has been in the works for quite a long time, and it looked like a few weeks ago it was 100%. Then we were told that hold your horses, everybody, not so fast. And then recently we were told it's back on again. And so if it happens, it would film in October, towards the end of October, and it would air around Thanksgiving, around the time that the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment exhibit would open up. So that is as much as I know. 8 million people live in Long Island. That's the fact that I'm relaying to you. Let me see. Okay, get eggs and milk. That's not as relevant for this. Now, let's talk, everybody, about okay, a little bit of a weird sound problem. Hold on, everybody. Let me do this. Bear with me one second. I'm going to unplug a couple of microphone cords. So bear with me for 1 second. Let's do this. Oh, I don't want to make too much noise, but unplug. Sorry, everybody. Yeah. Yuck. That is the sound of a microphone being unplugged. Okay. How are we sounding? Any better? And then let's just unplug this one up here. Just hang that wire there. Now, let's see how we're doing. Let's do that. Oh, it got worse. Okay, so now, hold on, folks. Let me unplug this. I'm going to do this. Then I have to do this and shut off the phantom to this. And I'm going to have to crank up this a little bit. Wow. I am my own audio guy. Here we go. The blue is there, so let's do this one. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Okay. All right. Hopefully better, everybody. Let's see. What else do we have going on here? So much. Can't put my phone on these wires. Hi, Brucey. Okay, let me just pull this up, everybody. Let's talk Emmys. Let's talk Emmys. I know a lot of you do not watch the Emmys, hate the Emmys, have not watched a game show. An award show in years, because let's face it, everybody, award shows can be very boring. Very, very boring. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to do this. Hold on, folks. I'm going to adjust my shutter speed, make me a little brighter. There we go. So, the Emmys. So, whether you like them, despise how political they've gotten, how you have a tremendous anger, you have tremendous love, all of that. As you know, I do not talk politics. I talk Everybody Loves Raymond. I think you can find politics in other places. If you dig deep enough, if you Google a search, you might find somebody discussing it. However, Everybody Loves Raymond won an Emmy for best, they don't call it best, they call it outstanding comedy. I wrote on the Creative Arts Emmys. I've helped Ray many, many years ago on the Emmys, on Emmy speeches, etc. I've helped out people on writing funny Emmy speeches. So I posted a picture, and let's see what we got here. This photo, I'm going to share with you a couple of photos. We don't want to see that photo. Maybe, oh, that's a really inside photo. Let's see this photo. Okay, so how do the Emmys work, and why do a lot of people say they stink and they're terrible, or award shows are terrible, etc.? So just sharing with those of you that didn't see it, there is reflection, and there, okay, backwards, upside down, and twist. There is Brad Garrett walking back in the back of the Emmys, okay, in the back of the building. It's called LA Live, where it takes place. And LA Live is a gigantic venue. It's not good for comedy. Comedy needs a nice, small, tight space with low ceilings and packed with people. And LA Live is the most cavernous place you will ever see. This is LA Live from the outside. Now, that says Emmys, and if you zoom in, I'll do that so you guys don't have to do it. Hold on. A lot of reflection on lighting. And okay, back, you guys, I'm looking, it's like combing your hair in the mirror. There's Brad Garrett, there's Ray Romano. Okay, let's talk about this. So, here's how it works. On an award show, they pick the presenters, and they sometimes don't pick the presenters until very close to award time. Now, it's a thankless task to be a presenter because, as many of you know, there's a lot of bad banter. Now, Does that mean the writers are terrible? No. So let me take you through my experience of the first time I worked on the Creative Arts Emmys. Creative Arts Emmys happens the week before the primetime Emmys. So Creative Arts Emmys is still prime time, but there's just so many awards to give out. And because the ratings, here, let me state it in an even better way. If you handed out 90 awards, in addition to the awards that you hand out at the regular primetime Emmys, they don't like to say regular, you would have a 6-hour show. And as it is, it's 3 hours. So the people that win, like I want to say best guest actor, because I know Tim Conway won 1 year there, and we wrote his funny speech. It would just be insanely long. Okay, so it doesn't mean, there's still Tom Hanks would go to the Creative Arts Emmys. Big stars go there. It's still a big thing. And if you're the editor winning an Emmy, it's just as important as makeup. As for those of you who have been following me for the last 5 years, you know that it takes a lot of people, about 130 people, to make Everybody Loves Raymond happen, a show like that. And if anybody drops the ball, well, 20 years later, people point out and go, hey, why does X, Y, this doesn't make sense, etc. So everybody's important, and it can't be any less. It's very important, the Emmys. Okay, so the first time I wrote the Creative Arts Emmys, my friend Tony DeSena said, hey, would you like to write the Creative Arts Emmys? I said, no. I would not. I actually don't watch that much TV. And I love TV. I just am not, I don't watch that much. He said, it doesn't matter as long as you can write some jokes. So the first year I wrote it, what year would that be? I don't know. You'd think I'm an expert on what year I wrote for the Emmys. We can probably look it up. But here's what happens. You have to write an announcement for each award. So you have to write funny banter for editing, funny banter for best makeup, funny for outstanding makeup, funny, something. And then when the presenters come out, you have two people possibly who have never worked together, and they're about to deliver, hopefully, comedy, hopefully one laugh. So when you watch at home and you go, who writes this? This is terrible. Here's how it works, folks. A celebrity gets chosen to present with somebody else or solo. And we, the writers, try and write something funny for this pair who potentially have never, ever performed before. They get sent the material. Some people take it very seriously. Ray Romano and Brad Garrett take it very seriously, meaning they're going to try and entertain the people. So some people, in their defense, are scared to death. I know it sounds hard to believe, but there's a lot of actors who do not like to perform live. So they're scared to death. You're going out in front of your peers, and you are potentially bombing. You are potentially bombing in front of the most powerful people in the business. And you're doing it in a venue that is not very good for comedy. Okay. I helped one year. My friend was hosting the People's Choice Awards, and I've helped out before, but now I was kind of officially helping them out. And it was such an intimidating large room. It's much better suited for a large band, something like that. So where you can be as loud as possible. And also it's so big that people need to see your facial expressions, which is tough, even though there's jumbo cameras on either side, screens on either side. So you write a funny banter for two people. And my favorite thing that happened was Tony, who was the head writer of the Creative Arts Emmys forever, and for a long time he did alone, and then I helped him. He was on with a famous person's agent, who said, my client is not comfortable doing comedy in front of live audiences. And they were an agent for Carol Burnett. So I said, oh, that's too bad that didn't come in an email, because that is very funny. And for those of you that don't know Carol Burnett, she did a live, in front of a live audience show for years and years and years. It was her specialty. So now you write this brilliant banter and you give it to the announcers, the presenters, and you can't force them to rehearse you can't force them to say the line so I can hear how you say the line. You are at the Emmys, you are communicating with their publicists, etc. Almost never do you talk to the celebrity until you get there at the show day. And what happens is, and I'll take you behind the scenes, I'll slow this whole story down. There is a point where you're at a monitor and you're looking at a teleprompter and they're saying the lines and you're standing there with the big celebrity, hopefully, and they're saying it, and maybe you can coach them a little bit. You don't know them. You don't know if they have an enormous ego and they're kind of like, oh, don't tell me how to say this comedy, etc. So the first year I wrote it, we wrote a lot of funny lines, Tony DeSena and I. And then I watched as presenter after presenter was not able to deliver the lines in a funny manner. And I wanted to hug Ray Romano and Phil Rosenthal, etc., because I'm like, oh, you guys really know how to deliver a joke and know how to say something funny and not kill the comedy. And in the defense of the presenter, a lot of them don't do comedy. So when you write a funny bit for the best actor in a drama, outstanding actor in a drama, they may never have done comedy well. So that kind of explains for you who were watching and going, oh, I'm watching his banter and it's like, hi, Bill, how are you? Well, I could be better. You can? And it's like, wow, this is terrible. But for any of you that watched the Emmys on Sunday, or at least Raymond, you can see how so much is in delivery. So let's get back to that specific thing. Raymond is called to, let me take a little break here. Let me say hi to a few people. Let's see how our focus is doing. Phenomenal. You have to give it to this camera. The Sony FX30. With a 24 to 70, 2.8 lens for those of you that are following along. All right, let's catch up before we talk about this specific Emmys. Okay, do I have this? I don't know this. Okay, let's see this. Oh, let me go back. Wow. Let me see. Let's go back. Okay, wow, I missed a lot. Let's see. Okay, sounding good. Yes, sorry, I don't know what that audio problem was. I pride myself on good audio, and so we'll figure it out, and we'll have that person fired, and that person looks just like me. Okay, hi, Mona. Okay, let's see what Mona says. I watch because I like to see what everybody's wearing. I like the in memoriam, which is sad. Which is a sad element, not sad that you liked it. But I don't usually watch the whole thing this year. I wait till the very end because I knew Brad and Brady were coming. Yes, very good. And Colbert and Emmys, yes, which was, I think, at the beginning. Yes, Deb, Tucker, Frank, Ricky Gervais said it best. Yes, Ray and Brad look good. I know they should look decrepit by this age, but they still look good. I miss Joan Rivers and her review of outfits. Yes, very interesting. Love seeing Brad and yes, Joan Rivers was great. Yes, and even hi, Joanne. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Yes, not yes. Sorry, Deb. I'm. It's funny because I'm clicking on every other one and every other one. Yes, Mona, Deb. They don't make comedy shows like they used to. I Love Lucy, Bewitched. It wrote Be Rich, which would be a good show. I Dream of Jeannie, The Odd Couple, The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Yes, Mary Tyler Moore Show, a phenomenally high point of television. Okay, and let me go back up to Instagram on another screen here. Karen Jack, comedy is a lot harder to pull off than drama. Karen Jack, you are correct. It is very hard because it's so precise that one little miss of a word or a facial expression or a pause will really hurt it. Hi, Tom. I was at the museum when you were there last Saturday, and my wallet is now missing. No, I'm making that up. Hi, Tom. I was at the museum when you were there last Saturday. I wanted to meet you, but you were with museum employees, then with Peter's family, and there just wasn't an appropriate time. Oh, dogs and butterfly. You should have flagged me down. So yes, Peter Boyle's family, Lorraine Boyle and one of his daughters visited the Paley Museum. We miss Peter dearly every day. Peter was such a sweet human being, so intelligent, so fun to hang out with, so calm in person. Just really, really missed him, and obviously no Peter Boyle, no Everett Raymond, no Doris Roberts. It certainly would not have existed in its carnation. And the theory is that the Fruit of the Month Club scene with Marie and Frank and Raymond, based on the real life story that happened to Phil Rosenthal and his parents, is the thing that put it over the top and got the show onto the air. So there you go. Thank you. That was nice. So maybe Dogs and Butterfly, where do you live? What town do you live? Because maybe you can come out to the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment. Okay, so the specific Emmys, what happens? Raymond, anytime he would appear on Letterman or anything else, he would start preparing months in advance, especially if he knew it was a Letterman appearance. So when he was asked to do the Emmys, Ray did what he usually does, which is, hey, writers of Everett Raymond, who are my friends, who we are on a text chain, I'm being asked to present. And then all of the writers instantly chime in, and Ray's like, not sure if I'm going to do it. So it was going to be Ray alone. And then maybe a week later, Brad was added to the mix, Brad Garrett. And then it was a continuous 2-week writing of their material. It's mostly Raymond and it's mostly Brad Garrett. And it's all Brad Garrett and Ray Romano who have to perform it. So whatever's comfortable coming out of their mouths. And again, like I said, in the past, people who present the Emmys don't generally rehearse. It's just kind of a pain for them. And it happened, by the way, the same thing with the Kennedy Center Honors. Raymond was there when David Letterman was honored, and I think a small band from England, Led Zeppelin, was honored. And they didn't know all the presenters for the Kennedy Center Honors like 2 days before. And I was like, wow, talk about a stressful business. So Raymond now has his area of comedy that he's working on, and he rehearses it and tweaks it and goes back and forth, etc. What do I want to say? The thing about, it's a changing thing, the whole bit. If you do this, then it doesn't do this, et cetera, et cetera. So they were going to present the Outstanding Comedy, one of the last awards of the night, which is a lot of pressure because I've said this before. Let me take another sip of my, here we go. For those of you who missed, Tom Caltabiano here, writer on Everett Raymond. And I'm drinking this. I just like challenging my focus. Harney and Sons English Breakfast Tea. And I believe Harney and Sons is based in America. 1983 it was established. So there you go. Here, let me just see this. Oh yes. Sorry for you coffee lovers who hate tea because it tastes like just dirty water. It is delicious. It is delectable, especially when you're talking a lot alone. Okay, here we go. Wow, my recorder. Let me try this. My recorder is out of space. Let's see what I can do about that. Maybe talk amongst yourselves. No, that cannot happen, unfortunately. Useless account 1011101. That's not a value judgment. That is me repeating the name of it. You are currently watching Exporting Raymond. I recommend that to anybody. I'm reaching to my recorder. Anybody that wants to get into show business, Exporting Raymond is one of the best things you can watch to see the frustrations of how things work. Well, that's a 32 gigabyte card. You would think that would record longer. Let's try this bad boy in here. See if that one records. No. Let's see that. No. Okay. Let me catch up on some comments as I'm multitasking. Yes, Denise, tea looks good. You are a tea lover. You are not alone. We have a big audience in the UK, as you know. Oh, let's try this card. See, these folks. It wants my. There we go. That's a card. That's an SD card. Inserting it into the recorder. Let's talk specifically now. Day of. Okay. That one won't. Do one more try. And then I'll be back to you guys 100%. Although I kind of enjoy the multitasking, especially because it drives Brad Garrett crazy. I want to hear your favorite teas also. And of course, we will try a cookie or a biscuit, as you guys call it, later today. Okay, we're going to forget about that today. Oh, well. Okay, so now. Day of, Raymond, let's go through the process and let's explain this photo right here. Let's explain this photo right here. Why are there two very big celebrities standing outside holding their phones? Okay, so here's what happens. Let's take you really, really on the inside. I go to Raymond's house where we're going to meet Brad Garrett. And then in Raymond's office, Ray and Brad Garrett rehearse their lines. And I sit there and enjoy it and watch and make any suggestions. And then we get into a car. The Emmys have already started at this point, probably an hour in. We get into a car and Raymond and Brad run the lines the entire hour-long drive through traffic. They run their lines the entire time. So they're rehearsing their lines, going through the lines. Any minor tweaks or adding any jokes happens at this point. And now we continue, pull up to the place, the LA Live with the driver. And the police will not let us turn where the artist's entrance is. Okay, so the artist's entrance is you pull up, and having worked on the Emmys, usually there's someone there with a walkie-talkie and goes, Mr. Romano and Mr. Garrett have arrived. Okay, send them back right away because they're going to be on the air in 20 minutes. So the police do not let us turn into the artist's entrance. So nobody recognizes Ray, nobody recognizes Brad. And the driver, who is an exceptionally nice driver and a good driver, goes, hey, I have to bring these to the artist's entrance. No, you cannot turn here. Okay, but I have to bring these guys to the Emmys because they're presenting. Oh, that's great. You cannot turn here. So now it's Ray and Brad are like, do we get out of the car and do we walk and try and get in? And so the driver's like, no. It's basically his responsibility to deliver the talent. So he does not want to get fired, which I totally understand. You don't want to get fired. So now waiting in the car. Okay, it's like, what's going on? And this does not help the focus. This does not help the focus at all of trying to learn your lines before you go up and potentially bomb in front of all of the most powerful people in show business. Okay. All right. We're recording again. Tom Caltabiano here. Everett Raymond. Just for those of you who are listening to this on the recording, probably 10 minutes, not on the recorder. All right. So now what happens? Eventually, the police, nobody goes, oh, you're Ray Romano. Eventually, the driver talks his way in. We get dropped off, but not near the artist's entrance. We just get dropped off. There's no one there to greet us. And so we walk around, and that's the photo that I shared with you guys. Let's see this. Let's see this. Let's see this. Scrolling the wrong way. And now this. So that's this photo here, folks. If you were behind the building, you would see Ray Romano and Brad Garrett walking quickly in a tuxedo. Well, they both had a tuxedo, so both of them in one tuxedo. So now we get to the point, like, where is the entrance? We don't know. And then they get to the entrance, and they cannot, Raymond and Brad, cannot bring up their tickets. Nobody recognizes them. And Ray and Brad are like, hey, I think we're presenting in in a few minutes, like 20 minutes maybe or something, which usually there's tons of producers on the project. And so that's an understatement. So usually there's a program, I don't want to give it's not a secret, but whoever the person is that's in charge of getting the talent there at this point should be going on a walkie-talkie, hey, does anybody see a 6'8" guy walking around with a 6'1" guy who they look exactly like the people that were on Never Was Raymond? Has anybody seen them out there? So now they bring other people to the to that entrance, and still nobody recognizes Ray. And they're saying we really have to present. Like somebody's going to have to present the award because we can't get in. So eventually, a woman with a headset comes over and is like, "Hey, what's going on? Why aren't you letting Ray Romano and Brad Garrett in?" And they're like, "Well, they don't have their credentials." So she's like, "Okay." So now she tries to, you would think at this point, right? They would just go, "Oh, sorry guys." But no, it's very tight security. So they still can't bring it up on the phone. That's what you're seeing. So for those of you that are normal people and you can't find your tickets on your phone, it doesn't just happen to you. So now we finally are let in, run down a hallway back to a room where it's a makeup room and a teleprompter room. It's a celebrity green room, and there are a lot of celebrities that usually are in there, but there are none in there now-ish. Wait, is that true? No. Lauren Graham is in there because she did a show with Raymond, and so we see her. Now, we have their entire speech, though, written out. I have it on my phone. I send it to Ray. I send it to Brad. We walk over to the teleprompter. There's a microphone there. And so they go, "Ray, because we have it all written out. Can we just send it to your person?" No. Read it into the microphone. So Ray now has his phone, and he's reading into a microphone, and they're trying to correct it. So now the show is still going on. They're trying to get in the teleprompter. Then Ray and Brad go, "Is there someplace else we can rehearse?" There's no place. And then finally someone's like, "You know what? Here, come behind this curtain." So now me, Ray, and Brad are behind this curtain, and they're running the lines again. Running the lines means just saying the lines out loud. So if you're with an actor and they're like, "Hey, someone who's auditioning, can you help me run my lines?" That's what it means. Just rehearse the lines. So now we're doing that. There's one little change. And so Ray's like, "Can you give them the change?" So now I go up and, it's very intense. It's very hectic because it's live and they need this stuff. So then it's say the line into the microphone that we want to change, but they're going so quickly that it's a little bit inefficient, meaning let me get to the line that I need to add in that moment. But they're like, just say the line and it'll get it. But it got it, but it was like 4 lines away from where it had to be. We fixed that. Now, Ray and Brad get taken backstage. I go backstage. And having been at the Emmys many, many times backstage, I bring my 70 to 200 lens for you photographers. For you non-photographers, that just means I'm able to get up really close on the action. So, and now, I haven't posted this yet. So here you go, guys. This is Ray and Brad in the makeup chair. Come on. Get rid of the reflection and rotate. No one getting seasick. Raymond and Brad being worked on, and the woman on the right, I don't know if she's on the right in the photo because it might be flipped image. Her husband was a cameraman on Never Was Raymond, and her husband sold me most of my camera equipment early on when I did not have any money. So now I bring my lens. I try and figure out a place to stand, and I stand where there are a bunch of other guys standing. Ray and Brad are behind backstage, about to be brought up. I'm standing about 5 feet from Nate, who's the host, and there's like 3 other guys standing around me, and then a headset person goes, "Hey, you guys are going to be on camera. You know that, right?" So I go, "Oh, darn." And so we all move, and then I find a little curtain, and I have my lens, and I'm able to take the pictures. So let me see. Do I have? Yes. So this is what a 70 to 200 lens gets you. Okay. Ray and Brad walk out. You can see the magnitude of that room. It is an enormous room. Okay, but that's the end of my lens now, meaning that's as close as I can get. But the cool thing is looking at the people in the front row laughing. The famous people in the front row laughing. Harrison Ford is there. Let's see. Can we see Harrison Ford? There is Harrison Ford. There's somebody, I can't tell who that is laughing, but a lot of photos of that. And now the magnitude, let's see this, the magnitude of, here you go. This gives you a better feel for the size of that space. There you go. There you can see the height of those ceilings is the enemy of comedy, everybody. The laughter doesn't sustain, it just kind of disappears. So, and this is the cameraman forever is Raymond, his wife. He is no longer with us. She won an Emmy Award, and that's her makeup mirror, which, by the way, is probably the best place to take photos. Raymond, they go out. Their banter goes extremely well. For those of you who watched, now keep in mind, none of us had seen 1 minute of the show before because it was just rehearsing and it was a late, leaving and trying to get in. While the acceptance speech is going on, you don't see this, but there is Raymond and Brad standing by the side of the stage out of the way as Seth Rogen and company. By the way, I've never seen the studio. So that's it. So Ray and Brad come off relieved. Brad especially, I think, nervous because he's a human being. He's a human being, and you don't want to bomb backstage. You don't want to bomb in front of those people. And this is backstage talking to, I'm really giving you guys an inside look. Raymond and Brad talking to Martin Short, comedy royalty, even though he is from Canada. We allow that. Weird amount of comedy from Canada. Now, here is, this is not, I have another one where Brad is smiling. So don't be alarmed, everybody. This was after the feeling good. That's Jeff Stilson on the right or farthest from me. Brad Garrett making a funny face. I have one of him smiling. Carol Leifer, very, very funny stand-up comedian who goes way back when. And the character Elaine was somewhat based on her. So that's in the makeup mirror after the relief of not bombing. And then the most important thing, I think, is we went to something called the Governor's Ball. I'll post a couple of pictures there. Here was an interesting change, and I'm going to get to your questions, everybody. The Governor's Ball is a giant event across the... Can I get to those pictures? You leave the premises of LA Live and you walk to, you walk across the street and there's a parade of people in tuxedos, et cetera, going into this giant space. And so we've done it many times in the past, and it's a beautiful setting for photos. Brad and Raymond, it's a different thing for them because, and here's the difference I found, and it took me a while to figure it out. I kind of was like, hey guys, let's definitely go there because selfishly, I get to take photographs of a beautiful setting. And so they are like, oh, here's a rare photo. Okay, so this one no one has ever seen, everybody. Raymond and Brad rehearsing in the car. That is sunlight. Those hits of light on the ceiling and on the back of the seat are as bright sunlight. So that is, Brad has not seen that. Raymond has not seen that. I will have to share that with them. Okay, so the Governor's Ball, we go to that, and the Governor's Ball is just a big celebration, and a lot of people are holding Emmys because they all have won. Let's see, this. Sorry, I'm scrolling through to see if Governor Ball photos. Okay, but what happens is so many people, and I don't blame them, folks. So if you feel like, hey, I would do the same thing. So many people stopped Ray and Brad to take photos. And what I realized is when we won the Emmys way back when, there was no such thing as an iPhone. So nobody was stopping Ray and Brad other than to say, hi, nice to meet you, congratulations. For the most part, nobody had a camera. You couldn't bring a professional camera like what I usually travel with. And so that was kind of unfortunate because as magnanimous as Ray and Brad are, you're in this loud environment. Everybody's stopping to take a picture. So Ray and Brad said, hey, let's go get some pizza. So we found a Joe's Pizza. We got in the car, we left. We saw a couple of friends from Raymond, Lisa Helfrich Jackson, and then we drove to this pizza place called Joe's Pizza on Sunset Boulevard. It's not the same as the Joe's in Greenwich Village. The lineage is ambiguous, but this, you have to know, was pure joy. Never before seen photo, and nobody asked to take a picture. And again, I'm not saying that you as fans who are listening, you know, if you took a picture, Ray and Brad would be happy to take a photo. But when you're at the governor's ball and every other person stops you, you literally have no place to go. Okay, so is this interesting, folks? The behind the scenes of the Emmys. Let me see. Is there one more interesting thing? Okay. Not this. Oh, there's many more interesting things. Then from the pizza place, we went to an after party at a place called the Chateau Marmont, where all the fancy Hollywood people hang out. And once again, I saw some people that worked at CBS. But more importantly, these two guys ended up just kind of talking to each other for most of the night. And then we got in the car and left. So there you go, everybody. Let's see. I'm looking at this. Okay, yes. All right, let me catch up on some questions. So there's also, let me see. There was also a gift bag. So they give gift bags. You guys have heard about the gift bag. Raymond and Brad, we got in the car, we left. And then there were these big gift bags all the way in the back of the SUV, which contains tons of facial care stuff, which, as you can tell, I am using today. Okay, so let's see. Yes, you're enjoying this. Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes, I didn't. I have to focus. Yes, the car. Yes, the car. Thank you. Okay, everybody. Sorry, I'm just summarizing, going quickly. Did Wolfgang Puck do the catering? Yes, I don't know. Martin Short, the Major Hoot. Yes. Well, what's interesting, I don't know if I can find that photo. Maybe I can. While this is the Hollywood type of moment. While Raymond and Brad are talking to Martin Short, you know, they're in a conversation, and then Martin is going to walk away. But I see in the distance, oh, there is Harrison Ford, who's done a few movies, I guess, kind of a few movies. And so they never saw him. But I did take that picture. Let me see if I can find that picture. Hold on. I have to adjust this camera a little bit. Let me just do this a little bit. Yes, there we go. Much better. And then we have to do questions. Oh, I still have what time is it? Whoa, okay. Still have to look inside here. You know, and it's so hot. Why is it always so hot? Because I know if it's a chocolate thing, it's going to melt in my hands, and then I have to use my white shirt to wipe it up again. Okay, let's see this. Here is a text. Okay. Let's catch up. Well, let's go back now. Let's look at Instagram. Very interesting. Thank you, everybody. Very interesting. Yes, joined. Yes, hearts up in Instagram, the land of Instagram. I don't know. Karen in Plymouth, England. Are people commenting on YouTube? I just don't see the YouTube feed here. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes. Sorry. I'm just saying yes to stuff that I've already discussed. Oh, let me see. Can I find that one picture? Yes. Let me see. I would have sent it to Raymond and Brad over there. Oh, we also have to guess a wardrobe thing. Okay. Ray and Brad. Let's summarize again, people that didn't come at the beginning. There will be a moving of the Paley exhibit in a new form to the Long Island Museum in November, probably closer to Halloween, Thanksgiving. And then there is a potential, the TV show is still in the works. We still don't know the exact date. They're giving us roaming around dates. We still don't know if it's an audience show, but the TV reunion special, which would be the cast reminiscing. So I reacted like that because I see so many arguments break out that Frank and Maria are no longer around. So how could you anyway? Okay, so this is what's called Harrison Ford, and nobody sees him. And thank goodness for my fisheye lens. There is another 9 messages that I've been getting. Here we go. Okay, there we go. Brad, Raymond, and there is Harrison Ford in the background. That is the green room area backstage, which is great. So, all right, let's try. Let me catch up on all these comments. Yes, doing this. Hello, everybody. Yes. Harrison Ford is great in Shrinking. Yes. Harrison Ford is phenomenal in Shrinking. Okay, now let's look in this, shall we, real quickly? Let's see what is in here. The canister. Hopefully the one. Okay, getting that. This is, where is this from? Oh, wow. Wait a minute. This could give a run. Oh, no. This is tragedy right here. Hold on, folks. The Cookie Bear Shrewsbury. Now, in the interest of being semi-serious and make this seem important, for those of you that don't know, we did an Oreo cookie test way back when with Jeremy Stevens, the beloved writer Jeremy Stevens, because he said that let's see, the Griffins. Yes, the Oreos weren't as good as the Hydrox. So, Cookie Bear Shrewsbury, does anybody know what country this is from? I'm getting gifted all kinds of treats. Okay, here we go. Again, this is old comedy, but my impression of somebody sitting behind you in the movie theater. Wow, that is a punch in the flavor of goodness. See, I'm a sucker for the Jammy Dodger. Sorry. Talking over this. Hold on. They don't make them quiet. That's for sure. That is not the challenge. Okay. Wow, this is quite a delicate looking cookie. Okay, I have to get my head out of the way, otherwise it won't focus. There we go. Beautifully done. Really nicely done. Wow, a very smooth, look at this camera work, huh? That is a very smooth, no jagged edges. Okay, here we go. The Cookie Bear Shrewsbury. Okay, hold on. Okay. Uh-oh. This is the problem when you put a whole biscuit, as you guys call it, or cookie in your mouth. Okay, so different than a Jammy Dodger, the cookie is, what is it I'm trying to, it's not as, what am I trying to say? It feels, because I know it's a dried cookie, so it feels moist, the outer thing versus the Jammy Dodger, and I don't want to compare everything against the Jammy Dodger. But a more subtle flavor than the Jammy Dodger. I'm absolutely loving this. It makes me sad because this is either Australia or New Zealand, which means I'll never get it again unless one of my friends visits. Super delicious. Wow. Very good. Let's see. I'm going to give this. I don't know what I gave the Jammy Dodger. This is the problem with not having all the stats in front of me, but it should be independent. This is phenomenal. Dare I eat another one? Hold on. Here you go. Just so you guys know what it looks like in the wild, in its natural habitat. Okay, there we go. A nice sleeve. How many of you eat a whole sleeve? Because that's what Jeremy Stevens One of the biggest laughs we ever got was Jeremy Stevens saying how much self-control he has. And Steve Scrovan, I thought, was going to fall out of his chair. I think we were in Vegas at a dinner. And Steve Scrovan said, Jeremy, you have the least self-control of it. You know, you'll eat so many cookies. I'm sitting next to you. And he goes, yes, but I want to eat the entire package. That's what you don't realize. I'm trying not to eat the entire package. So how many of you will eat the sleeve? By the way, the smoothness, I'm struck by the smoothness of this cookie. Well, I got to get my head out. Yes, there we go. Look at that. Look at how, let me see. Yeah, that is just really smooth. Okay, I'm going to give this a 7.7. Okay? Uh-oh. It happened again. Okay. Time to guess the... Thank you, Maureen, from New Zealand. The Cookie Bear Shrewsbury. All right. For those of you who don't know, I rescued all of these. I don't want to be dramatic. These are every single wardrobe script from Everose Raymond. A wardrobe script is what the wardrobe department keeps the record of the wardrobe. They take Polaroids of every single scene of every single episode, and I have them. And now we've decided to play Guess the Wardrobe script that Tom is holding. The worst clues I can give you are Raymond's photos, because Raymond's photos look the same almost every episode for the entire series. So here we go. Raymond, oh, jeans, a flannel-looking shirt, and a T-shirt. So no one's going to guess it from that at all. Okay, let's see. I'm giving some people. Okay. A text from Raymond. Okay. Let's see this. Is anybody, I'm literally from that one photo. If anybody can guess it from that one photo, I will be very impressed. Okay. Here we go. Not the best clue. Patricia Heaton. All right, that one might give you it away. Doris Roberts, and Patricia Heaton. Deliberately don't want to show that one too long. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Yes, I'm reading there. Okay, let's look on Instagram. That's two photos, everybody. The lady awaits. Photo today from the episode Tissues, just so you know, cause morning coffee choking hazard. That makes me very happy. Okay, now I'm out of frame. Let's look at another photo, because I'm going to run out of photos that don't give it away. Okay? I mean, it gives away. For those true fans, there you go. Frank's character, that is Phil, holding a water bottle, giving notes. Frank's character in a shirt with pants and socks, okay? Not that helpful, I admit it. Brad Garrett standing there. I can't tell if that's Jerry Zaks behind him. Hard to tell. Brad wearing a shirt. Okay, so far, if anybody guesses it from this, I am going to be extremely, extremely impressed. Alone time, no. The Angry Family, no. So I'm imitating Phil. Who would say no to us in the writer's room in a comical way, because Phil was very good. Okay, I tried to eat one Oreo cookie. I tried to add one Oreo cookie to a protein shake. That didn't work well. Let's just say it was more than one. Costco has delicious protein cookies, so it's all good now. Have a good week. Wow, Brucey, that was a lot of information that I was not expecting to read, to see. Okay, hi, Maureen. Thank you for sharing the Shrewsbury. No clue at all, yes. Deborah throws away the homework. Charity. Ah, yes. This one seems to have stumped everybody. Let me see if I can show the next photo. Wow. We have stumped people, folks, and we are on to the children. There is Madeline. There are the twins. Okay. Let's Fix Robert. Kim. Excellent guest. Wrong. But I take no joy in saying that. Okay, let's see this. Okay, now, if I show you this next one, you will guess it. True fans will guess it the moment I share this one. Okay. Hold on. There we go. Not a good picture of him, actually. Hard to tell who that is. Okay. Mona the Canister. Good guess. Wrong. Okay. Now, here we go, folks. You will now guess it from this. Oh, I know. Let's do this. Okay. Here we go. Yes. Annabelle Hacky-Doo it is. And do you know why? I'm glad you guessed it now. Hacky-Doo. Because when I show this picture, of course, that makes it exceptionally easy. There is Paul Rubens, and there is Rick Marotta, who did all the music for Ever as Raymond, who played Clarence in the show Hacky-Doo. He's leaving the thing. There we go. Excellent guesses, everybody. This was a hard one. Why is it hard? Because the dress code for Ever as Raymond is the same for a lot of the episodes. So that is an excellent, excellent, excellent. Yes, congratulations to Annie Bell. I'm making fun. Annabelle, I still have to post the picture I took of you. By the way, I'll post the picture of the couple that I met at the Paley Center. A delightful couple who drove 2.5 miles. Okay, 2.5 hours to get to the exhibit. So let's recap, everybody. These cookies are delicious. Cookie Bear Shrewsbury. Yeah, I'm gonna have to publish our business address. And oh, I see. See, I missed this. They're all different shapes, folks. Take my head out of there. That is a star. I know you guys know that. And that, I can save this. I got to get my head. That is a heart. So I didn't know that they were all different shapes. I wonder how many shapes they are. Now, does that mean because I touched them that I have to eat them all? I think that should be the rule. Okay, so circles, hearts, stars. Those are the shapes. Okay. There we go. Those are very good. Harney's Tea is based in Millerton, New York, in Dutchess County. Thank you, Maria. I will visit them someday. The bent umbrella would have given it away. Yes, Amy's clothes are more different. Okay, very good. Everybody, so good. I really appreciate you guys following. I will keep you posted on all progress. We are working on the official podcast, which is actually more work than me. And I love doing this work, but it's more work than me just coming here every Sunday to talk to you, the fans. And so we're just designing the look of it, let's say, because we're not going to make, we just want it to be something that allows people to converse in a friendly setting. So we are going to be launching that soon. And then so much work on so many different fronts. And thank you, everybody that's been supporting our children's educational thing. We do live visits to classrooms, for preschoolers, kindergartners, first graders. That's kind of the wheelhouse. If you go to our website, our educational website, I'll post it, mrclown.edu, I believe it is, Mr. Clown, MRCLONW, edu. We do free visits to schools around the world. We've been doing that ever since COVID started. So I super appreciate all of you and all of you that watch our series on PBS. Hello, hi, how are you? You can find it if you just search pbs.org. super appreciative of that, of all the help that you guys and some of you guys that do have reached out for that resource. So let's see. Final questions. Yes. Okay. I will do that. Sorry, I'm skipping through Mr. Clown, edu.com. Yes, Mr. Clown, edu.com. Free materials, all of that stuff that teachers love. And we've worked with teachers. And I've worked with my friend who has been a kindergarten teacher for 25 years. And we started doing classroom visits the moment COVID hit because everyone was locked down. And that's when I started visiting you guys on this, the Eberles Raymond 360 Live. And I really, really have enjoyed it. You guys have asked a ton of great questions. So thank you very much, everybody. We will see you next week. Keep your posts coming. Keep your questions coming. I love it when people jump in and answer for me. When I say answer for me, you guys have the knowledge. So when someone says, did they really drive a car through the wall? And somebody writes, yes, they did, because Tom posted pictures of it. Anybody, please, I love it when you answer questions. And also, if you see my photos on other sites, you don't have to be confrontational about it, because a lot of people, sadly, because they could just share, will take the photos. And I love, love, love when people share my photos everywhere. That makes me very happy, just like where they will be at the Long Island Museum of Music and Entertainment in Stony Brook, New York. Okay, have a good week, everybody. Thank you so much.